Yes, we are live. Hey guys, happy Friday. It is Friday. Very excited. And I am very honored and very excited to have these fringies, these fringe people, these fringe goers, these Orlando Fringe lovers, participators, show setupers on the show today. I've got Melanie Leon, Gina Barone, Genevieve Bernard, and Lindsay Taylor. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I knew the energy would be awesome. Brian Sikorsky is such an amazing guy. And I didn't know that we were having a virtual visual fringe. I need to be more on top of things. So before we get all into that, if I'm going to just go across the board as I see it, just tell us a little bit about you and then how you got involved with Fringe. And I'll start with Melanie.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. Hi. I've been involved with Fringe since 2014. I actually started as a performer in the festival and have done many shows since then, and then slowly started doing other aspects. I stage managed a show, I produced a show, until I joined the Visual Fringe team as an associate producer, and I did that for 4 years. And then this was going to be my first year, or it was my first year, as Visual Fringe producer. So we got to do all the build up to the festival, but then next year will be my first year as producer doing the full festival.
In the crazy throes of it.
Yeah.
How about you, Gina? Hi, Gina Barone.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us. I started with Fringe back in 2018 as a production intern with Lindsay. And I loved it. And I was like, well, you're stuck with me now, and I have to be here. So the year after that was this last year. I was associate producer of the outdoor stage. And then this past year, for this upcoming Fringe, I would have been producer of the outdoor stage. So it's kind of similar to Melanie that I was involved before. This would have been the first year producing. So we did all the work. And then next year we'll have the big showcase.
The big showcase. All right. I've got Genevieve. Genevieve, you're next.
Hi.
Tell us about you. Hi, Genevieve.
Hi. Yes, I am currently the education coordinator for Fringe. I have been around Fringe since 2000. I started as a performer in the Fringe and have had many shows, and I've produced many shows in the Fringe. I've also produced Kids Fringe, and as I said, I'm the education coordinator now. And as a part of this virtual festival, I have been coordinating the Kids Fringe Today activities and lineup.
Very cool. All right, last but not least, Lindsay Taylor. Welcome. Hi. And tell us about you and tell us about your involvement in Fringe.
Yeah, I started fringing in 2011. I saw my improv teacher Chase Paget's show, Superman Drinks, and I left and I was like completely enamored by it. I was like, wait, anyone can just apply to be a part of this festival, like without a jury, with just luck. And then I did a festival the next year. 2012 was my first year. I co-wrote a show called Little Women, a rap musical. And then I was doing like one show a year. And then by the end of me being an artist at the festival, I was like involved in like up to 3 shows at a time. So I like to like be a part of all different things. And then in 2018 was my first year as associate producer. And then this is my first year as theater producer.
That's amazing. And I want people, like, I have a feel and a passion for Fringe, but Lindsay, I'll start with you since we finished with you. Tell them what Fringe is.
Fringe is an incredible and unique place where arts of all different kinds can come together in one place. Typically, like a music festival, it's just music, or at an art show, it's just art. But Fringe, we kind of branch out to all those different aspects of the community and bring everyone together for 2 weeks of entertainment, depending on what you like. And it's really special in that way. If you can bring the whole family. There's so many different things involved, depending on what you like and who you are. And that's just so different, and it's incredible in that way.
The energy, if you've ever been, the energy at Fringe is just amazing. If you're an energy junkie, you're going to love every second of it because there's so much creativity. When you're around creative people like that, I mean, it just sparks more creativity. And like Lindsay was sharing, you know, you leave there and you go, wow, I can be a part of this, or this is so cool. I never thought of it, because the presentations and the way it works are a little bit different. So Genevieve, I want to ask you, you mentioned the kids stuff. Tell us about the kids, because I think people think Fringe, the first word they go to is, uh-oh, too crazy for kids, but that's not the case.
Yeah, no, Kids Fringe, when we're having the festival in its traditional fashion that we would, is on the weekends of Fringe. It's over in the Orlando Garden Club, and it's really cool because it is a kid version of what kids can watch performances, they can take part in workshops, they can make art, all kinds of like cool hands-on interactive things for them to do. And one of the things that I think is really cool about Kids Fringe is that so much of the entertainment is completely family friendly, and parents often remark that they enjoy the entertainment as well. So it's a really cool kind of experience for all ages.
Agreed. All right, Melanie, I have to ask, you did you say you performed in Fringe?
I did for several years. I think I'm up to 5 Fringe shows that I have been in. I will say, moving forward, though, Visual Fringe is going to get my full attention. So I think I'm going to be taking a break from performing in shows. But it is truly a wonderful experience performing in Fringe shows, producing a Fringe show, being on staff, any aspect. I just love it. It's amazing. It's such a family. It's such a community.
So Gina, how about you? Tell us about favorite, if you had any performances or shows, because remember guys, it runs the gamut. I mean, there is, like they said, something for everyone. And then to me, one of my favorite things to do is when the program comes out or when it's announced is to look at the show titles. Because I think the show titles are just fun. It's kind of like that whole trailer thing, or you're at the wine store and you pick out a bottle of wine based on the way the bottle looks. Well, sometimes all you have is the description and the title. And I love the titles, because I think they're very, it's unique, but it's also attractive. If you get it, you get it. And people will flock to that particular show. So Gina, have you had any that you were like, wow, this just blew you away, that you still remember, that you, or some that you go, wow, I never thought I'd see that performed live?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. It's always hard to like remember your favorite Fringe shows because there are a lot. I think something that always kind of factors into my favorites is that we always say like go see the out of town shows, because there is such an international presence in Orlando, and those always end up being some of the most memorable ones. One that really sticks out to me was Multiple Organism, which was in 2018. It was a really cool projector show where they were projecting their bodies and with these little shadow puppets. It was just amazing and visually stunning.
So tell us, Lindsay, about the actual setup. So this year we're virtual, we're visual. Tell everybody how that's going to work.
Well, we have 2 different aspects to the Fringe Today part of it. One is pre-recorded shows and other are live shows. And some of them are their actual shows that artists are submitting. And the other part of it is experiences, which is where a lot of the visual Fringe and the outdoor stage and the kids Fringe come into play, where the artist might teach you something. Like there's a magician who is going to teach the audience a magic trick and then do a Q&A about what it's like to be a performer with autism. And our bar managers are going to teach a mixology class. Because we're trying to just really keep a handle on the emotions behind Orlando Fringe, because it's not going to be the same as being at the festival, and we know that, but we wanted to really encapsulate how we feel while we're there. So I think we're doing a pretty good job, and I'm excited about our lineup.
I think one of the cool things is that everybody's gotten used to Zoom or these platforms, and so it's actually a great thing because we're all now trained to engage in a different way than we engaged with human beings before. So I'll be fascinated to see how that translates. I was against the Zoom because I like to be touchy-feely. I'm in person, and I couldn't figure out how you could really communicate with and engage with people across a screen, but you can. And so kudos to you guys for taking that on, because I think that only expands it. There are people who wouldn't necessarily physically go, because they were intimidated or they didn't know, and now they can enjoy it from the comfort of their home or wherever they happen to be. So kudos to you guys. I think that's brilliant, and I can't wait, because then I feel like I can see more, and that's what I want everyone else to do. So each of you, do you have an artistic talent? I'm going to start with Melanie, because I think each creative must have some sort of artistic talent that they come to Fringe with.
Yeah, I mean, specifically for Fringe, it has kind of been twofold. I've been both a performing artist. I do scripted work, but I spend most of my time actually as an improviser. I will travel around the country improvising, or I used to travel around the country improvising. But then with Visual Fringe, I'm also a visual artist. So I will do sculpture work with clay, I'll do graphic design, I'll do photography. So the great thing about Fringe is that it lets me do both over my time with it. I've been able to both improvise and do scripted work, as well as create visual art, which has been amazing.
I'm always amazed at any creators like that. How about you, Gina?
Yeah, so I grew up doing musical theater, so that was kind of my background as a dancer, so that's more my talent. But I also grew up in a family of musicians where my dad is a band director and a working musician. So I've learned how to play some different instruments over the years, and that really helps my connection to the outdoor stage, because I have that connection with musicians and making music and listening to music and just being surrounded with it.
Y'all's energy is so good. Genevieve, how about you? Oh, you've muted yourself.
Sorry.
That's okay. I thought, oh, mime is her. She's a mime.
Hello. Yes. My other pieces of my life. So I am a choreographer at Fringe.
Well, I'm glad she got stuck a little bit there. So she's something at Fringe. What's your talent? I'm sorry, that part got cut out.
Ooh. What did you say?
What's your talent? What is your creative talent? I think she's frozen.
Yeah, she might be frozen, but I will say Genevieve is a very talented choreographer.
Choreographer, good.
Yeah. She had a show that was in the pool, Aqua Dance. It was beautiful. She has her own dance group, and she is a choreographer. She's a dancer. She's so talented. So keep your eye out for her work. It's amazing.
Fantastic. All right. So we got Genevieve. Sorry, it wasn't exactly from Genevieve, but great save, Melanie. How about you, Lindsay?
I'm kind of in a weird situation where I didn't have actually really any theater experience before I started at Fringe. I was in the orchestra in high school. I always liked watching shows kind of from that lens. And then when I saw my friend's show at Fringe that first year, I thought, well, I could do that. With no experience, I just kind of started writing and just kind of like asking people that I would meet along the way on like how to do what they do. So I kind of feel like I'm more like a little jack of all trades, where I just kind of pick up what people are throwing down, and I'm learning from them all the time. So I don't really have a specific channel that I go through, but I'm still learning, as we all are.
I love it. All right, so tell me a show you guys, I guess, get to preview, right? You guys all know what's going on, maybe not, but tell me a show that you, or something, or some things that you're really looking forward to see how the audience responds, something that's in the show. Lindsay, how about you?
One of the things I'm really excited about is I'm interviewing Seth Kabursky and Matt Palm, two of our main reviewers for the festival, but we're going to play some games and I'm going to get to know them, and I think it's kind of cool that the audience will get to know those two people, as they're used to just reading what they think about shows, but that's I'm cool. Just really pumped about that. I think it's a different perspective that they'll like.
That's very cool. How about you, Genevieve? See if we get Genevieve to tell us, Genevieve, what about you?
You know, I'm excited. I'm excited for a lot of the Kids Fringe offerings. There's a lot of workshop and interactive experiences for the audience. Kids can learn to juggle. There's some music classes, and then we have activities where kids can choose their adventure to the end of a story and pick a couple different YouTube videos for different endings. So I won't be at their homes to see how that turns out, but I'm really excited about how I think they're going to react.
I love it. How about you, Gina?
Yeah, I've just over the past couple months seeing everything that people have created, I've really loved. So I'm excited to see a platform where everyone can come together to showcase what they're learning to do online. Like we were talking about, oh, it's a totally new way of interacting with people. I'm really interested and excited to see how people interact with each other through this event.
Very cool. Agreed. That's why I'm fascinated. I want to see how the interaction is. How about you, Melanie, last but not least?
Yeah, I'm excited for so much, particularly with Visual Fringe. I'm excited that we're bringing some different things that we might not otherwise be able to bring live to the festival. So we're kind of using this moment as an opportunity to try new things. So we have someone doing a cake decorating demo. We have someone doing digital sculpting, the sculpting that you might see done before 3D printing. We also have a wine and paint class, so I'm really eager to see what people create and encourage them to create art. We also have a henna class, which I have never done anything like henna in that minute, tiny details. So I'm so excited to see all of these things that honestly, I don't know how easy it would have been to bring to the festival. So I'm thrilled we finally can.
I just feel like there's an opportunity here, which you guys are so smartly taking advantage of. There's a potential for added people to attend who hadn't in the past, to reach a broader audience if you couldn't have traveled to be here. So I just think that this is so for creatives to embrace technology in a manner like you all are doing. Huge kudos to everyone involved, because it's not easy to pull off something that you're used to having that immediate audience reaction and interaction with off on this. But all of you are so excited about it. You can't fake that kind of stuff and that kind of enthusiasm. So thank you for that. All right. So somebody tell them, if you want to, how they can reach you individually. And then I'll have Lindsay at the end tell us how they can get the list of what's going on at Fringe. So Melanie, I'll start with you. How can they reach you?
Yeah, so all of the Visual Fringe events will be streaming live on the Fringe Facebook, which Lindsay will talk more about. But if you're ever interested in learning more about Visual Fringe, you can always shoot me an email. I am at visualfringe@orlandofringe.org. We can talk about gallery art. If you want to submit art, if you want to buy art, we can talk about that. Or if you're interested in ever in the future doing a class or a demo, anything visual art related, let me know. I'm always interested in new ideas and chatting with you.
Love it. Thank you. How about you, Gina?
Yeah, so similar to Melanie, all of our stuff will be streamed through the main platform, which Lindsay will talk about. But if you ever want to reach me, if you're interested in performing in the future, if you're a musician with questions, you can reach me at outdoorstage@orlandofringe.org.
Perfect. Genevieve, how about you?
Hey, you can find me at Genevieve at orlandofringe.org, and Kids Fringe programming and Fringers of the Future programming will be found in the same place that Lindsay's going to tell us about.
Fantastic. All right, Lindsay, it's all on you.
Pressure.
Here I am. All the events you can find on our Orlando Fringe Facebook page. It starts on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. And also, if you want to submit a show or submit Visual Fringe, you can go to thelawn.orlandofringe.org, and those shows to stay up indefinitely. And you can email me with any questions at Lindsay, LINDSAY, @orlandofringe.org.
You guys are absolutely a joy to have on. I knew you would be. Anybody who Brian Sikorsky loves, you gotta love. But you guys have great energy. You obviously have a passion for what you're doing, which comes through. And I just want more people. Now's your opportunity. There's no excuse, guys. This is your opportunity, really. If you want to know what Orlando Fringe is about, you want to see some amazing, talented people perform their hearts out, Orlando Fringe is where you want to be. So orlandofringe.org, or the Facebook page, which I tagged earlier. Thank you guys so much for taking time out and telling us about Fringe.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right, you guys have a great one. Thank you. Go out and support local. These are local people, lots of people coming in, but this is good for our city and it's good for our arts community, and I'd love to see you guys get involved. So thanks so much. Bye, everybody.